Hello everyone. So welcome to the channel of RD Automation Learning. So today we are going to give answer of a very important career-based question that is frequently asked in our live sessions and emails and comments, that how should a person who is having a career gap should get or should try to get a job in an IT field, especially in software testing field, right? So there are many people who are out there who are having career gaps, maybe due to health issues, due to some personal reason, any XYZ reason. So how should they tackle this kind of situation and get a job into the IT field? So yesterday itself, I received a call from one of my subscriber, and she was having almost 5 years of career gap. After 2016, she has not been working, and now it's almost 2023 coming up, right? So there is 5 to 6 years of career gap. Now, there are other people who have got a career gap from 2013 year to 2022. So they have almost got 9 to 10 years of career gap. So what should be their approach in this kind of situation, right? So let us look at the two scenarios, two very important scenarios over here. If you are having a career gap and you haven't worked at all, right? So if you have been passed out of 2013, 2014, and you haven't been worked, you have not been working in any kind of job, let it be non-IT or any kind of job, right? So what should be your approach? And the second scenario would be, if you have worked into the non-IT job, then what should be your approach, right? So we would be discussing the same thing in this particular video, right? But before going to the answer, I would request each and every one of you to please like, share, and subscribe our channel, so that you can get an information about all these kinds of videos. Okay, now let's take two scenarios as we discussed over here, right? So the very first scenario is, you have got a career gap, right? And you have not been working at all. Let it be 2 years, 3 years, 5, or let it be 8 to 10 years, right? And you want to switch to IT job. I would come to specifically QA related job, right? Now we would take the second scenario, if in which you have a career gap, but at the same time you have got some working experience, right? Over here it is no experience, over here it is some working experience you have. Okay, now the very first and foremost thing that would come to your mind is, yes, let me go with the fake experience of 2 years, 2.5 years. I'll manage in the interview, I'll get it going. So the strict answer is no. It is no. Don't go for fake experience at all in this kind of situations, because you will be definitely caught, right? See, there are face-to-face interviews in which from your body language or your from confidence, they'll come to know. And recently, you would have seen that many people got laid off in companies like Accenture, in companies like Cognizant, and there are many more companies who have laid off the fake experience people who had joined during the COVID second wave. So I would request you that to avoid kind of going for fake experience. Okay. Now coming to the situation where you don't have any experience, right? Now identify why you want to go for software testing field, right? You need to retrospect yourself after having 8 years of gap that you haven't been doing anything. Maybe you were preparing for some government based examinations, right? So identify why you want to go for QA. Maybe is that a passion, right? Is that a need for money, right? If it's a need for money, then I would suggest uh, you can rethink, because it is not like the people who are into the testing job are making the lots and lots of money. It's not like that. So if it's a need for money, or if you want to earn more compared to what others are doing, then there are different professions available, right? So you need to identify why you want to go for QA, right? Okay. And then what you should do is, you should do some certification in QA field, maybe ISTQB, CAST, right? So these kind of certifications are very helpful for you. Okay. Then what you should do is, you should learn about latest tools and technologies that are being used in the IT industry pertaining to software testing field. right? Which are the latest tools and technology? So I'm telling about maybe you can learn about Selenium automation. You can learn about Postman API testing tool. You should learn about uh, manual testing basic concepts. So that will be there. And important is learn Jira, right? So that is very important. If you learn Jira, if you know how the Jira works, how is the flow of the defect in Jira, how do you log a defect in Jira? So agile methodology. So these things you will have to learn. Okay. Okay. So this was all about the people who are having the career gap and they don't have any experience. Now, if you have some work experience, let it be in non-IT. Okay, let it be fine. Okay. So for you also, these things remains the same. In second scenario, these things remain the same, right? Need for money won't be applicable to you as you are already making it. Okay. Now let's come to the good aspect. If you have some work experience, let it be non-IT field as well, right? Then what you should do, you should try to map or correlate some role and responsibilities that you are doing in non-IT job with respect to testing, and you should update your resume. So update, or I can say modify your resume with respect to some testing aspect in your non-IT field. For example, you are working in BPO. Okay, it's a non-IT. I would say it's like it does not has any resemblance to the testing, right? So what you would do is you you would do some sort of arranging reports, or maybe getting some reports and evaluating them, verifying them, validating them, right? So instead of using those uh, verification or validation, you can update your resume with respect to testing keyword, right? Maybe, for example, that you every at the end of every week you were updating the reports and you were checking whether the reports have been submitted properly or not, right? By some tool or by manual process. So that checking those things you can update with respect to testing. I'll give you one more example. Let's say you were working in some tech support team, right? Now the technical support team, so whenever customer or the client creates a defect into your tool, you are trying to reproduce it, right? And then you were handing it over to the engineering field for or testing field or development field with respect to your findings. So that is one of the testing that you are doing in particular field. So you need to identify which are the areas or how did you do the some aspect of testing. I'm not saying 100% testing, but it was just like some aspect of testing that you are doing, right? So that you need to identify, and that you need to tell in an interview, right? So this is the aspect, this is how you need to approach your interviews, your career with respect to if you want to shift your if you want to get some IT job, if you want to get some software testing related job with respect to career gap, right? But fake experience is not a solution at all for this, right? So thank you so much for watching this video and stay tuned for more updates, and all the best for your career.